Happy 2025, everybody. This is the 2025 Pantry Challenge because I am sure that you guys have at least $100 worth of food in your pantry, if not upwards of $500 in your spice cabinet, in your freezer, and in your dry pantry. And for the 2025 Pantry Challenge, you're going to eat it. You are going to eat the food that you already bought. Wow, what a crazy concept. All right, let's get to the details for the 2025 Pantry Challenge. Hey, Chef Corso, Outdoor Eats. I am usually giving you some tips and tricks for how to elevate your meals when you are hiking and backpacking. But what we are doing and starting in the pantry for this season is because any meal plan, both inside and outside, starts in the pantry. And I'm pretty sure that you guys have a bunch of food that you've just been staring at and looking at. There's nothing to eat. Oh my goodness, there's nothing to eat for dinner. But there actually is a ton that you could possibly eat. And in the first part of 2025, you are gonna go through and you are going to organize it. You're gonna throw some stuff away, and then you're gonna eventually eat the food that you bought. And I have been in a lot of pantries over the year. This happens to be my parents' pantry in Washington State. And look at that, they've got a lot of food here. They've got the gravy mixes, they've got the syrups and the soups and the beans, and they've got a box of Cheerios. And what you don't know right down here is they also have 4 more other boxes of the stuff, because apparently they needed to stock up on Cheerios. So for the Pantry Challenge, we are going to focus on 3 main areas with a potential bonus 4th area if you are so inclined and have a lot of energy this January. So 1, we're going to focus on the dry pantry here. 2, we're going to focus on the spice cabinet. And 3, we're going to focus on the freezer. Okay? And the bonus is the refrigerator. If you do want to go through the refrigerator right now too, that will give you some really big bonus points to throw away some weird old dressings and condiments that you don't have or haven't used for a long time. Or I'm pretty sure the refrigerator just needs to get cleaned. You know, hasn't seen any spray or hasn't seen Mr. Clean for a while. So those are the main areas that we are going to focus on for the Pantry Challenge. Okay, so the first step for all of these locations is you are going to look at what you have, okay? And the first step is to throw away any expired items. It's okay. You know, we've all been there. We have a can of Campbell's tomato soup that's been sitting there for 5 years for some reason. It's okay. You tried, and it didn't quite work this time. So you're just going to take those and throw it away. Next, you are going to be honest with yourself. I want you to be very, very honest with yourself and look at the rest of the food that you have, okay? And honestly ask yourself, are you going to eat this? Are you going to eat this in the next month, or maybe in the next 6 months, maybe in the next year? If the answer is no, that's okay too. Put that in a donate pile, okay? So donate some old spices, donate some canned goods that you're just not going to eat, and donate that to the local food bank, wherever you are. They will be so happy to see you, to donate to some folks in need, okay? So then what you're going to do is you are going to organize, okay? So it's also a good opportunity to wipe off the shelves because they probably haven't seen a clean cloth for a while, but wipe off your shelves and you're going to organize, okay? So some tips I can give you for organization is that, like here, we've got some stairs in the pantry, right? So you can see different levels and layers of those cans. What's really hard for setting up a pantry is having all the cans or having all the spices on one level, right? Because after the second layer, you don't know what you have in the back unless you are writing what it is on the top. So use some stairs. Also, you can use these things. Look at this. Oh my gosh, it's a Lazy Susan and it turns. Wow, so great efficient use of space. I love it. So that can be very, very nice as well. Or you can just do some different layering and leveling depending on the size of your pantry to be able to maximize your space and organize everything in there. So you're going to go through your food, you're going to throw away the old stuff, you're going to donate the good stuff, and then you're going to organize it. And then the main part of the Pantry Challenge is you are going to cook with the food in your pantry only. Big old asterisk here, you can still go to the grocery store for perishable items, for cheese, for dairy, for yogurt, and some fresh produce as well, but I'm I challenge you to start, if you do have some canned or frozen vegetables, is to start there. So you can definitely supplement with some things, but the idea is to cook through all of your ingredients that you have over the next month. And look at all of these pantries that I've come across around the country. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here. It's just the reality. It's what happens. We buy these things with the best intention of eating them, and then we either get tired or bored or something, and they just sit there. But you bought this food. You wanted to eat it at one point. So here is your chance to eat it. Tip I can give you with the spice cabinet here is, if you notice and if you see that the label is way different than what is currently being sold. Like, wow, crazy different font, maybe it's faded, it just looks kind of weird and looks kind of different. That is a alarm bell that this is a Old Spice, and not actually Old Spice as far as, you know, deodorant, that kind of thing, but it is an aged spice, and it's something that you don't want to eat. It's not necessarily going to get you sick, but as spices sit and spices age, they just lose a lot of their flavor. So upwards of 6 months or a year, that spice is not dead, but it is definitely dying, and you should probably buy something new to be able to give you something fresh. So when you're going through your spice cabinet, look for the old labels. And man, if you're doing this at your grandpa's house or you know, your parents' house or something, you'll be amazed at some of these old labels, because they are super funny looking and definitely don't look like what we're used to. And if this sounds crazy, if this sounds daunting, I know it may be a little bit different, but that's part of the challenge. Get you a little bit out of your comfort zone, but I think you can do it. And the thing about this, at the end of January, the grocery store still will have food. It still will have beans for you. It still will have sauerkraut and pickles and all that kind of stuff that you normally buy. The grocery store will still have food, pretty darn sure. One tip I can give you here is that don't rush it. You have a whole month. You have a whole bunch of days, a whole bunch of weeks to cook through your pantry. And if it turns out that you ate all the beans really early on, go buy some more. It's okay. But the thing is to try to really work through the food that you have already in your pantry, in your freezer, because I'm sure you got some great stuff to eat in there. One tip I can give you too, as you're going through this, and to think about things in the future, and when you are restocking your pantry, is to be careful of fun items. And ladies, I'm mostly looking at you, but if you are on a vacation or you are at a specialty shop, be very careful of saying, oh, that looks fun. Because most likely you aren't going to eat it. It's going to be an interesting shape of pasta, a weird jam or jelly that you're like, oh, we'll bring it out when the Johnsons come over. It'll be super fun. Those fun things have a tendency just to sit there and to just collect in the corner. So be careful of fun things. You know, I'm all for supporting local artisans around the country, but make sure and be honest with yourself when you are buying that thing in Astoria, Oregon, or in Corpus Christi, Texas, or wherever you're going, that you're actually going to eat it. As you are going through this challenge, you may get a little bit stumped, but I am here for you. So if you ever don't know what you possibly could make with a few things in your pantry, send me an email. So send me an email with your name, where you are messaging from, any dietary restriction, and any hard preferences. So if you like don't really like blue cheese at all, or you hate Old Bay seasoning or Creole seasoning, let me know that. But I will give you some ideas. I'm not going to give you full recipes, but I will give you some ideas on ways you could put your pantry ingredients together in order to use them up. So everyone, for 2025, hit up the Pantry Challenge. You can do it. I believe in you. I can help you, but it'll set you up for a great year for your indoor cooking and for your outdoor cooking, and probably save you a little bit of money. Boca boca.